and welcome to video number 7 in our series PSI/CPT Guru Bootcamp, where we're going to discuss questions that are not found in your textbook, or if they are found in your textbook, the different textbooks say contradictory statements, so you don't know which one is correct. Now, we'll begin right over here, okay? This process destroys all microbial life. This is a nice word the state enjoys using because hardly anyone speaks about microbial life. I went to a skincare demonstration once a few years ago, and the woman giving the class said, remember, if you're trying to get teenage boys to clean their face, okay, just call it antimicrobial soap. It sounds so serious. Young boys love the word antimicrobial. Don't call it toner. That's for their sisters. Okay. Now it's funny, but it's also kind of true. Okay. Language is so important. The state says this process destroys all microbial life on a surface, generally with the use of an autoclave. Cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, or sterilizing. Destroy all microbial life, even spores, generally with the use of an autoclave. An autoclave is an oven that gets very hot. It's a small little oven, not like your stove in your house. It's a small little oven. You frequently see them in doctors' and dentist offices, sometimes esthetician centers. The process is cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, or sterilizing. And the process is sterilizing. Sterilizing is required whenever your intention is to break the person's skin. For example, permanent makeup, tattoo artist, a doctor or a nurse giving you a COVID-19 vaccine, maybe a dentist for a tooth extraction. When the person's intent is to break your skin, the law says they must sterilize. Generally, as a barber or a cosmetologist, our intent is not to break your skin. We sometimes do by accident, especially barbers can have this when shaving with razors. It's not our intent, so you're not required to sterilize, but you will need to know the answer on the test. Okay? The process to destroy all microbial life, including bacterial spores, generally by using an autoclave, is sterilizing. Now the next question along the same line, and this is the source of a lot of confusion on the test and a lot of missed questions. Infection control professionals consider this to be a layperson's term or product marketing term. Infection control professionals consider this to be a layperson, that's what they're saying, is a person with no education, or a product marketing term. Cleaning, sanitizing, disinfection, or sterilization. Infection control professionals consider the word sanitizing to be a layperson's term or a product marketing term. For example, sorry about that. We have right here hand sanitizer. If you look on the back, it says water, alcohol, in this particular case, food coloring and perfume. The law says the minimum acceptable alcohol level is 60%. You can find it from 40 to 80. This one says 65. Hand sanitizer. The state board exam sometimes talks about sanitation and sometimes it doesn't. In your book, it lists the 4 levels: cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, and sterilization. Now, sometimes the question says, what is the level before disinfection? Well, if you look in any textbook, that is sanitizing. But quite often, sanitizing isn't even an answer choice. If they give you the 4 choices, cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, and sterilization, then the level before disinfection is sanitation. But frequently they don't give you sanitation because, as it says here, sanitation is considered a layperson's term. The government doesn't really officially recognize it as a level of decontamination. So if they only give you cleaning, some word they make up, disinfecting and sterilization, then the word is cleaning. So be aware. This is a very common and I would say deliberately tricky question on your test. Cleaning versus sanitizing. Now another question along the same line. It says, this is a chemical process for reducing the number of disease-causing germs to a safe level. A chemical process for reducing the number of disease-causing germs to a safe level. Cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, or sterilization. Again, cleaning and sanitizing. If your test gives you those four choices, then the choice would be sanitizing. But very frequently, sanitizing is not a test choice. If you've memorized the first page in your book on the chapter on disinfection, which is chapter 5 or 4, depending on your book, you will say cleaning, sanitizing, disinfection, sterilization. Unfortunately, you may be that person that doesn't have sanitizing as a test option, in which case then the default answer is cleaning. Now the last question along here, it says, a chemical process using specific products to destroy harmful organisms on a surface. A chemical process using specific products to destroy chemical organisms on a surface. Cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, or sterilization. And the answer is disinfecting or disinfection. It will destroy everything on a surface except bacterial spores. But the question didn't ask about that. It said on a surface. It didn't go on to talk about bacterial spores. Therefore, the answer is disinfection. A chemical process using specific products to destroy harmful organisms on a surface. Disinfection. If it specified and bacterial spores, the answer would be sterilization. Now, I know these words go around in circles, but you're going to see them on your test. It is the most heavily tested section on everyone's exam. Barber, cosmetology, esthetician, nail technician. It is 25% of the questions in your state. So if you have 80 questions on your test, this is 20. If you have 100 questions, this is 25. Doesn't matter what state you're in, it is the most heavily tested section. Now, if you're learning anything from these videos, and I hope you are, we try to respond to things people tell us in phone calls or text messages. If you're learning anything and you want to know about more videos, please hit the subscribe button at the bottom. That way you'll be hearing anything coming up. Okay, you can get our book online, www.cosmetologystateboardexam.com. Has every question, all the questions from PSI, all the questions from CPT Guru, and we give them to you for free, no charge. The book is not free, but the book contains a lot of free questions from PSI and CPT Guru. If you have any questions in English or Spanish, give us a call, 760-534-4434. Thank you.